Hello, I'm Woodrow Wilcox, and I want to talk to you about early voting. I have here a newspaper ad with Barack Obama urging people to vote early, and I want to tell you why I'm against early voting. And the reason I'm against early voting is because I come from a union family, and early voting or multi-day voting has been used as a tool to oppress honest democracy in labor unions for decades. I can only point to you a story that happened while I was a youngster, but it was talked about in my family, and that is the case of United Mine Workers pro-democracy leader Joseph Yablonsky and his opposition to W.A. Boyle and corrupt practices of W.A. Boyle and his cohorts at the United Miners Union. In 1969, W.A. Boyle ordered the murder of Joseph Yablonsky, his competing union leader. And Joseph Yablonsky wanted honest elections, and he wanted the Treasury run honestly at the labor union level. One of the tactics used by W.A. Boyle and his cohorts to put off Yablonsky's wins in union elections was to have multi-day elections and then at night switch ballots and so forth like that. They did that several times and put off Yablonsky, but then the members of the union started asking questions like, wait a minute, you voted for Yablonsky, I voted for Yablonsky, and they added it up and it didn't add up. How did W.A. Boyle win? And so when W.A. Boyle realized that he couldn't fight Yablonsky and the pro-democracy movement in the labor union anymore, he ordered and paid for the murder of Joseph Yablonsky. It's a very unfortunate story, but the point is that a dishonest or many dishonest labor union leaders actively had elections on multi-days so that during the night they could switch ballots. Now that's my fear of the early voting, that somehow nobody's watching the ballot box or the election machine at night. And how can we trust that the vote count is honest? Now, our constitutional forefathers in the Constitution said that the federal election will occur on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. Where in the Constitution does it allow for people to vote on October 22nd? It doesn't. And I think our constitutional forefathers had great insight in putting the election day on a certain day that could be just simply kind of like written in stone in our Constitution. So everybody knows, and in the state of Indiana, we have 6 people at the poll watching the election machines or the ballot box. So there are 6 pairs of eyes trying to ensure that the election is honest. That's good. And we should keep our elections on one day and one day only, the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. There should not be any early voting because that leads to at least the temptation, if not the exercise, of vote fraud. And I'm concerned about that because I want the will of the people to truly be measured properly with an election day. An election on one day where many people are watching many ballot boxes or many voting machines to ensure that it's an honest election. And I don't see that happening with early voting. Early voting, I think, is a device for accomplishing vote fraud. I'm Woodrow Wilcox. That's my opinion.